Oh, hey there.
What the hell? Oh, hey there? Question mark?
I'm Kate.
And I'm Confused Bradley. What was that?
Excitement.
That is the weirdest excitement I've ever heard in my life, but carry on.
I haven't had my nap yet today, so I'm trying to force excitement.
That's exactly what we want for our podcast. Who? What?
Should we start over?
No, I think we should keep going because this is fucking
comedy gold.
Podcast gold right here. This is going to get us to the top of the charts.
Bradley likes to make fun of my napping skills.
I don't like to make fun of it. Well, maybe that's not exactly accurate either, but she can nap with the best of them.
Yeah.
Like if there was a napping in the Olympics, Kate would probably win at least silver, if not gold, every fucking time. And the only reason why I say silver sometimes is because sometimes she just lays down and doesn't sleep.
Yes, that does happen.
Most of the time, holy balls, nap for days.
Like, oh.
You literally nap for your naps are like longer than some people sleep. So, yeah.
Well, I haven't had one yet.
No.
Today.
No. Well, that's unfortunate for you.
Yeah.
I apologize for your lack of sleep in the middle of the day.
Why don't you introduce us to what we've got in front of us here?
All right.
And the container.
Yeah. Well, they're different. You've seen coconut water before, right?
Yes.
It's the same container. So if people have known that,
okay.
It's like the same packaging. So I've known about these for a while. I've never had one myself, but they're called BeatBox and they're 11.1%.
Oh, shit.
This is what you picked for us.
Oh, shit.
Do we want to go to the other ones?
Nope. I am excited. I am excited. Holy balls, yes. Batman.
So it's, what do they kind of consider? It's like, it says contains alcohol, world's tastiest party punch, best served chilled, must be 21 plus.
Yes.
But for what I understand is, it's not like wine. It's, I don't know. It's almost like a pre-made cocktail, basically.
Oh, okay.
Is what it is.
So it's made out of a plastic, almost like a milk carton.
Yeah, like the coconut water.
Where you have to lift up the corner flaps. Uh-huh.
You don't have to do that.
I know, you don't have to do that. It actually has like a
screw top.
Yeah. But it's a plastic box, essentially.
Yeah, it's different packaging.
Yeah.
How many? It's 16.9. So 11.1% at 16.9. I think we're going to feel a little something after this.
So it says that it was packaged in Acampo, California.
Oh, is that where it's from?
Yeah. And I have the fruit punch BeatBox.
Okay. Did you read the servings per container?
No.
3.38.
What?
There's over 3 servings per container.
So are we taking shots of this then?
No, we're gonna sip on it. So why don't we open it up before we change our minds?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about this all of a sudden. Okay, screw top.
Yeah.
Cheers.
I'm gonna say that's different.
Mine tastes like fruit punch.
Mine tastes like alcohol.
Okay. I mean, mine tastes like alcohol, but with fruit punch.
But how many beers have I said? Well, I wouldn't even notice that was 9%. I noticed this is 11.1%.
Oh, you might want to try mine then.
Yeah, is it better?
I like it.
I'm not saying it's bad. Mine is pink lemonade.
Yeah.
That's what because you said your flavor. I forgot to say mine.
Yeah.
No, it's something.
You just feel okay about it?
I am undecided on the BeatBox currently. It's not my go-to type beverage. I like cocktails. This to me isn't a cocktail.
It didn't say that we had to shake it or anything.
I don't think so. I don't believe so, but
I'm confused why mine tastes better than yours.
Well, maybe it's just more up your alley than mine, I guess. That could also be it as well.
Do you want to try mine?
I mean, we could.
Should we football it across the room?
No, because that's going to cause an extremely bad mess, and let's not do that.
Okay, I'll get my Lazy Susan out and put it down. And no, okay. Maybe we'll do this later.
Yeah, how about we sample each other's later? You can pour some out in a glass of yours.
A shot glass.
Yeah, and I'll do the same for you, and then we can try it.
Okay, so once before you had said that you have been to Hawaii.
Yes, once in my life.
Do you remember your flight to Hawaii?
I remember we were delayed on our way back. That's all I honestly remember
really,
about
that's
the
all
flights.
You remember?
Yeah. I don't recall the flight out there.
Yeah.
It's because it's been, 28 years?
Mm-hmm.
So I've had a lot of beers between then. So no, I actually honestly don't remember. I want to say, I think we had to fly into California and then we flew there. I don't think we didn't have like a direct from out this way.
Yeah.
To there. I
think that would be way too long if there was a direct flight from the center of the
country
States,
to Hawaii.
Yeah.
I think that's what we did. But no, I honestly really don't remember the flight at all.
When I flew to Italy, we had a stop in, I think it was Newark.
Yeah, you had said that.
Yeah. And I don't really remember it.
No.
I remember the dread.
Yeah.
Because I cannot stand flights over 2 hours.
Sure.
I get claustrophobic feeling and I have to get up and stretch and there's so many people in the way. It's really overwhelming.
I can understand that 100%.
Yeah. So when I'm looking at flights for random things or, even just looking around stupidly for
just for whatever.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, that's too long of a flight. I'd rather drive.
Where can I go within 2 hours?
Yeah, pretty much.
In a plane.
Pretty much.
I do remember my flight to Germany.
Okay.
Because we flew out of O'Hare to Amsterdam.
Oh, okay.
I do remember that flight. I remember the flight back even more so because we went there in 2008. And this is before movies were out the next day, even though they were in a theater yesterday kind of time frame.
Yeah.
And I remember being able to watch, because it wasn't even out on DVD or Blu-ray at the time, we got to watch Iron Man on our way back.
Yeah.
Because it was just being about to be released kind of thing. And a lot of movie, what's the word I'm looking for? Studios, there's the fucking word, had deals with airplanes and stuff that they would put the movies on their flight. So I got to watch Iron Man on the way back.
That's exactly how I found out about Harry Potter.
Oh, really?
I don't remember if it was to or from Italy.
But that's when you first watched it?
I watched the very first Harry Potter, and then I started reading the books after that.
That's funny. Yeah. I just saw it in a movie theater in Brookfield.
Yeah.
Not on a plane. But
well,
yeah.
We're talking about some flights today, but we're going to talk specifically about Fred Noonan.
Fred Noonan.
Do you know who he is?
I don't.
So he is of Irish heritage. He was born in Cook County, Illinois, so Chicago thereabouts.
Did you notice that a lot of your stories involve Illinois?
It's not planned. I'll tell you that.
I hope not.
Yeah. So he was born on April 4th, 1893. Okay. And he was born to Joseph Noonan, and he was born in Maine. And then his wife, Catherine Egan, was born in London.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And Fred lost his mother when he was just 4 years old.
Oh, that's too bad.
Fred left school in the summer of 1905 and went to Seattle, Washington, where he started a maritime career.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Did I mention flights? I meant boats. I'm kidding. They're both in here.
Wow. Wait, which one's in the air and which one's on the sea?
I'm going to take another shot of this.
Oh my God. I guess I will too.
Yeah. Let's see what the second taste is like.
I will give it a little shake this time just because why not? That's what I do.
Yeah. The back end is a little alcohol-y, but the front end is very much fruit punch.
I really don't taste pink lemonade.
Bummer.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
Yeah. It's all right. We'll fix that later.
So Fred served on a series of merchant ships, and he progressed through the ranks, and he accumulated a lot of experience and certifications.
Okay.
So at 17, Fred shipped out of Seattle as a seaman on a British sailing ship called the Crompton. And between 1910 and 1915, he worked on over a dozen ships.
Wow.
Yeah. So he was he was all over the place.
Gung-ho about it. Yeah.
So he quickly climbed the ranks to become a quartermaster.
Okay.
Which is basically someone who assists the officer on deck, and he was a navigator. And then he was promoted to a bosun's mate, which did a lot of ship maintenance and training and operations.
I've heard of that before.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Wonderful. So during World War I, Fred lived in New York and sailed on both American and British merchant ships.
Okay.
He never actually joined the Navy. It was all
Oh, it's
merchant
all
ships.
Private.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
So he actually did still face quite a bit of danger.
Well, I'd imagine so.
I wish there was more information on this, but I really couldn't find it other than a statement. But he, on the merchant ships, he was actually carrying some ammunition, and he had 3 different ships that he was on sunk by the German U-boats.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. And there's no information on it. It's crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah.
You would think there'd be something out there.
Yeah. But despite these close calls, he kept sailing. And after the war, he became a well-respected ship's officer. Okay. So in 1926, the U.S. Shipping Board gave him a top-level license to captain any size ship.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he always got like the highest marks in his performance reviews, and he had a ton of dedication to his work. So he was a very, very committed person.
Yeah, he was a hard worker. For sure.
Yeah. At 34 years old, Fred got married to Josephine Sullivan in Jackson, Mississippi in 1927. And he's all over the United States too.
Yeah, because you said he was up in Seattle? Was it Seattle?
Seattle, yeah. Then New York, and now Mississippi. And they settled down in New Orleans after a honeymoon in Cuba.
Wow.
Yeah.
Honeymoon in Cuba. Not something you can do today.
Not something you can do today.
The United States. That's crazy.
So then Fred landed a job as a chief mate on a Mississippi shipping company ship. Okay. And a chief mate is basically second in command to the captain.
Oh, okay.
So after a 22-year career at sea, including 7 trips around Cape Horn, of Africa.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. And 3 of those trips were on sailing ships.
Wow. That's crazy.
Fred decided to try something completely new.
So at 39, he's trying something new.
He took to the air.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's quite different.
Yes. So he learned to fly in the late 1920s, and he got his pilot's license in 1930.
Wow. Okay.
So still being who he is, the next year, he still got a Class Master license that says Class Master Any Ocean. It's basically the highest qualification for a ship captain.
Do they still do that today? Stuff like that? I would imagine in some degree, right?
I'm sure many people are both on ships and in airplanes. He's rubbing his eyes. Not impressed. I don't know.
Podcast gold.
So in the early 1930s, Fred joined Pan Am.
Oh, dear.
Mm-hmm. He worked as a navigation instructor in Miami and then managed the airport in Port-au-Prince, Haiti.
Port-au-Prince, yeah.
He's all over the place.
He really has gotten around the world.
Yeah, so he eventually became an inspector for all Pan Am airports as well.
Do you remember what year Pan Am closed?
No. Do you?
Yeah.
What is it?
1991.
Oh, good job.
Yeah.
Fred used his seafaring navigation skills to help develop new techniques for Pan Am flights across the Pacific. Okay.
Sure.
So in March 1935, Fred and his wife moved to Oakland, California.
Geez, another new place.
For the rest of the year, he was a key player in pioneering commercial air travel across the Pacific, serving as a navigator on survey flights. So he would navigate before the commercial passengers would.
So they could literally figure out where the hell they're going.
Yes, a flight plan, if you will.
Yes, correct.
Yes. So he made history as a navigator on the first Pan Am Sikorsky.
How's that go?
Sikorsky S-42 Clipper in San Francisco Bay.
Okay.
I know that's, all about the Clippers. Anyway.
The LA Clippers? They're a basketball team?
Are they?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Awesome.
The Los Angeles Clippers?
Do you know what a Clipper is?
No, because you're going to tell me.
A Clipper is basically the first commercial air route across the Pacific Ocean.
Okay.
So he navigated a round trip through a China Clipper flight between San Francisco and Honolulu as well.
Okay.
So Fred continued to play a crucial role in the Clipper routes throughout the Pacific Ocean. And he started participating in flights to Midway Island, Guam, the Philippines, Hong Kong. And in 1936, he flew at least like 21 times for Pan Am. And they included very long distance test flights and round trip crossings to Manila, which is the capital of the Philippines.
Yep.
So, in addition to modern navigational instruments, Fred was also known for bringing a ship's sextant on these flights.
Sure.
So a sextant is a navigation instrument that essentially measures the angular distance between two objects.
Yep.
And a lot of times it's used like based on like where the horizon is.
Isn't it also used with stars?
It can be, yes. Yeah. So sometime later that month, he did resign from Pan Am as he thought that he couldn't really go up any further in the ranks. And he actually wanted to start a navigation school anyway.
Oh, okay.
So he was just like, yeah, I'm good. I'll just
do my own thing here.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So 1937, big year for Fred.
Okay.
Big year. He was already famous as a top navigator. He helped start commercial airline navigation. He was a big deal.
Big deal.
Big deal in flight. Right?
In flight.
And he started his own navigation school.
Right.
March 3rd of that year, also big news, he filed for divorce.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah. But then he fell for a woman named Mary Beatrice Martellini. Okay. She was another divorced woman with no kids. She owned a beauty salon in Oakland, California.
He didn't have any kids with the first wife, right?
Correct.
Okay. I didn't think you said anything about that. But
yeah. So that same year, Fred was then hired by a pilot who was planning a trip around the world.
Oh, geez.
The pilot bought a super advanced plane called the Lockheed Electra 10E plane with money from Purdue University. So for all those aviation nuts out there, maybe you know what a Lockheed Electra 10E plane is.
I've heard of a Lockheed before, but I couldn't tell you anything about it. So
it looks like a plane.
You don't say.
I actually have a picture of it right here for you.
And all, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does, and it has like landing gear.
Yeah, landing gear.
Yeah. So that's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's
and
got propellers.
This will be exactly. So
weird.
A little bit of visibility in the windshield, and
Does it have windshield wipers?
I don't know. Do they?
Probably, yeah.
Cool.
Most of them do.
Cool. Anyway, that will be on our social media.
Jesus Christ.
That's the plane. So they're going to go around the world near the equator. So airlines were already flying all over the world at this point, so not super new. But Fred had just quit Pan Am. He was ready to do this.
Just got divorced.
Yeah. So he was the expert that they needed, especially for the flight from Hawaii to Howland Island. And it is a tiny island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Oh, okay.
It's about halfway between Australia and Hawaii.
Gotcha.
It's technically, as of now, it's an uninhabited, unorganized territory of the U.S., and it's actually kind of a nature preserve right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that's under our jurisdiction?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
So Fred's first appeared in the news as a member of the crew on March 13th, 1937, and their first attempt to take off was delayed by bad weather on March 16th of that year.
Okay.
So taking advantage of the delay, Fred... There we go. It's the fruit punch. I'm going to have a little bit more because I like mine. It's tasty.
That's fine.
It's tasty.
It's getting better the more I drink it.
AKA you're carrying less.
Yes. Let's go with.
So Fred inspected the plane's navigation equipment and discovered a problem.
Ooh, what's the problem?
He was shocked to find that they only had a simple ship sextant for navigating. Now,
yeah, that seems like a terrible idea if you're going to try and go around the fucking world.
Yes, because it is meant to find a horizontal
Off the
point.
Horizon, yeah.
Yes.
And when you're in the sky,
you don't know where horizon is sometimes. Yeah.
Exactly.
So he fixed this by borrowing a modern bubble octant, which is used in aviation, but it's honestly similar to a level.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
And it balances itself out. So
yes.
even if you're turning, it's still going to be level within the bubble. So, yeah.
Yeah. So with the Octane secured, they took off from Burbank, California on March 17th, setting it a record flight to Hawaii. Now, on March 19th, Fred sent a telegram to Mary, his new fling.
Yep.
Leaving 1:30 a.m. your time, the pilot has asked me to stay with them until at least Darwin, Australia, and maybe even longer. I love you, Fred.
Okay.
So they were going to go from Honolulu to Howland Island to Papua New Guinea and then Darwin, Australia. Okay. So the next day, as the Electra was taking off for the next leg to Howland Island, the wing hit the ground.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
How did it do that?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. Maybe it just, I don't know. Maybe they got like a twitch in the arm, because sometimes I do that. Like if I'm massaging someone's glutes with my elbow, my whole arm twitches, and I'm like, sorry, that was me. That was not your glute releasing. They're like, okay.
You're like, okay.
Sometimes I have to preface that because they're like, what was that? I was like, that was just me spasming.
Jesus Christ. All right. Anyways.
So the wing hit the ground.
Yep.
The pilot shut down one engine to keep the plane balanced, and then, but it spun around and the landing gear broke. Nobody was hurt.
Seems like a terrible idea.
Yeah.
To have happen.
But because the plane was so damaged, they shipped the plane back by sea to LA for repairs.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So, and this was still from Hawaii.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So a week later, on March 27th, Fred and Mary get married.
Huzzah!
In Yuma, Arizona.
Oh, did they take the 310 to Yuma?
Where do you think they'll go next? Maybe Montana?
Do you get that reference?
Yeah, it's a movie, okay. I think.
What do you mean you think? It's two movies.
I've never seen it.
It's really remake? Good. Yeah, the remake's really good. It's got Batman, Christian Bale, and Russell Crowe in it. So nice. It's actually a really good movie.
Yeah.
And it's a remake of an older Western. So.
Yeah. Oh, it's a Western.
I think they should go to Montana next.
Okay. And then like British Columbia or something.
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Just makes total sense.
He's a pilot. Let's do it.
Yeah, you should go to Greenland.
Okay. So they get married
because he's a pilot.
They get married, and they plan to settle in Oakland, but decided to spend a little honeymoon in Hollywood since Fred was kind of waiting for these repairs to finish, right?
Yeah, sure.
So after the Electra plane was certified airworthy on May 19th, Fred was present in Burbank.
So it took him 2 months to fix the plane.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty significant damages then.
Yeah.
I mean, I get the time frame we're talking about, but I wouldn't have guessed 2 months.
Yeah.
So, okay.
So Fred went to Burbank, and the next day they did like a sneak takeoff.
Just to test it?
Yeah, just to test it. So they actually went to Florida, and then they flew back to California because that's where they wanted to start for their around the world trip is California. So they went to Florida. Everything's good. Let's go back.
I mean, that's quite a flight.
Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking.
From California to Florida?
I mean, why not go to California to like Vegas or something? But whatever.
Because that's not that far, I guess.
Okay.
I'm sure they just wanted to have a significant amount of time in the air to make sure everything's good. So I get it, but I wouldn't have guessed Florida.
And he had to flex his navigation skills again. He's been on the ground for 2 months.
Yeah,
you know?
he's got to get warmed up, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So more than a month later, they embarked on a second. So they waited another month. They finally did their second attempt at the world flight from Burbank, this time going east.
So they said, fuck this, we're going east, bitches.
Yeah.
So they
abandoned their original flight plan, yeah, and went to the east.
Okay, so where do they go from California?
So it's a whole big
zigzag.
Yeah, and I'll put a map on our social media because it does say like where they all went.
All right, cool.
So I don't remember if they stopped again. They would have had to stop again in the U.S., but then they went to like England or something.
I would imagine they probably stopped somewhere on the East Coast and then across the Atlantic, right?
So on May 30th, the pilot announced that they had initially planned to fly solo across the Pacific, but now that they had Fred with them, they wanted to like keep Fred with them for the whole trip. So the pilot described their 40-day eastward journey from Burbank to New Guinea as leisurely.
Leisurely?
Yeah, like no problems.
Did they have a a flight attendant serving them cocktails and shit? I mean,
I don't know.
When's dinner?
So Fred meticulously tracked their progress, but Fred wasn't always stuck in like the back of the plane as navigator. He actually went up to the cockpit and talked to the pilot quite a bit, and that pilot was Amelia Earhart.
What? Come on.
Boom, boom, boom. I kept her name a secret this whole time, except for I said she a couple times.
I guess I didn't pick up on that she.
Because I switched it to they like really fast.
Yeah.
But this is the flight that Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan took around the world. But nobody knows about Fred Noonan.
No, because she was a woman, and that was more significant.
Yep.
Than this isn't obviously the one where she goes missing, right?
It is.
It is that flight?
Yep.
Did he go missing too?
He was with her the whole way.
So we're going to learn that here?
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know there was anyone with him.
Yeah.
I feel like we've been lied to this entire time. 45 years been lied to about Amelia Earhart.
She had a passenger, a navigator the whole time.
I didn't. Okay. Continue.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't.
So he'd only go back to the rear of the cabin when he needed space to like work on his charts and stuff.
How difficult was it for him to like, okay, we're here on this map? Like, I couldn't even fathom doing that in 1937, right?
Well, he had 22 years on the...
I understand, but like you're in the air and it's like, because you got to track speed and all that so you can properly...
Lots of math,
which I like math, but man, that had to be difficult.
Yeah, yeah.
But he's clearly experienced because 22 years, so...
Yep.
All right.
So together, Earhart and Fred, they would actually communicate mostly by writing notes because the engine was so loud.
Oh, I bet it was, yeah.
So together, they expected to reach Howland Island. So we're coming from the east, right?
Coming back, yeah.
So Howland Island is roughly 2,500 miles from Leh, which I thought I looked up where Leh was. My apologies. Papua New Guinea. Okay, so 2,500 miles from Papua New Guinea. Okay, and it was about 18 hours of flight time. So there was a Coast Guard cutter called the Itis. Can they not just have normal words? Itasca.
No. Itasca?
Itasca.
Spell it.
Itasca.
Itasca?
Itasca. That sounds better.
Yeah.
Itasca. So they were stationed at Howland, waiting for fuel, and they would receive like intermittent messages from Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan.
Right.
As like her signal improved towards that area.
Sure.
But neither Amelia nor Fred knew Morse code, so it kind of prevented two-way communication.
Right.
And it was actually uncertain whether they actually heard any of the Itasca's transmissions at this time.
And were these warnings to them?
No, it was just...
They were just trying to communicate.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, fearing the loss of contact, the Navy and the Coast Guard launched a massive search operation because all of a sudden there was no communication.
Nothing from them
Nothing from them.
Okay.
They covered approximately 250,000 square miles of ocean.
That is a lot of square miles.
Yes. So...
How many square kilometers is that?
Are you kidding me right now?
Not at all.
You butthead. So obviously very costly. There were daily expenses.
Well, yeah.
At around $250,000.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So 18 months later, the Navy officially declared Earhart and Fred Noonan dead, concluding that their plane likely ran out of fuel and crashed into the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
And today, many experts believe like a combination of bad weather, the long journey, essentially caused the plane's downfall.
Sure.
But we all know pretty much like Earhart went missing. No evidence was ever found. And then occasionally there might be something that would pop up on some kind of Discovery Channel like, hey, we found these bones in this really remote island and it could be Amelia's, you know.
Didn't they just say they just found it like not that long ago?
Yeah, I'll get to that.
Oh, you're good. Okay, never mind. Sorry.
No, but like poof, they're just gone.
Yeah, I mean,
and that was like they're almost the last leg.
They were almost there.
Yes. So if they would have reached Howland Island, it would have been Honolulu and then Burbank. Literally, that's all.
That's wild
Isn't
that they made it that far. I guess I of course know of Amelia Earhart, and I've known about her my entire life.
Right.
I never really did much research or reading or anything on her, though. So I didn't realize that they made it that far in their flight. And I mean, you always think of things like, I know this isn't accurate, but you always think of things, oh, they got lost in the Bermuda Triangle or something.
Right.
Whatever, fucking bullshit.
Right.
As a kid, you just make up shit in your head. But I didn't realize they literally made it that far into their journey, I guess.
Yeah. But imagine what would have happened if they went the original way.
And I find it funny because you kept Amelia Earhart's name secret until, well, you did.
I was ready to tell you.
Yeah. So, so I think it's funny because do you think when they were originally on Honolulu and she hit the wing, do you think he's like, female pilots?
I hope not.
I hope so.
God.
I had to get that in there. I'm sorry.
So there were some film footage that would suggest that the plane's belly antenna might have been broken off during takeoff.
Oh, shit,
which
really?
could also explain why the pilot couldn't receive radio transmissions from the flight. So now we're going to go into a few theories. It's not going to be a lot.
No, but there's plenty out there, I'm sure.
So the belief is that Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan ran out of fuel and their plane crashed into the ocean, essentially. A crash and sink theory.
Okay.
So pilot and navigator Joe Lodridge conducted extensive research and proposed a different scenario.
Oh.
He believes Fred made an error in his navigational calculations, specifically in determining his position using the sun's angle near the horizon. Mm-hmm. This error combined with wind data led Lodridge to think that their position was likely farther east than previously thought. Like they were completely off track.
Sure. I mean, that's very probable.
Yeah.
I mean, you could make a huge argument for that being correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously.
So according to Lodridge's analysis, their final crash position could have been about 60 miles southeast of Howland Island.
Okay.
And 30 miles east of Baker Island, which is another tiny little blip of land.
Is that near Howland Island?
It is. Okay. Yeah. So the theory suggests that they flew the expected distance, made their planned 90-degree turn because they had to apparently had to do a major turn, but ultimately missed the island due to a navigational error.
You said Howland Island is basically, it's under our jurisdiction, but it's mainly just like a nature preserve.
Yeah.
Was there a runway on this island at one point then?
There's a big beach, just a beach.
So how would they have ever landed on that?
I don't know.
Because that plane clearly needs a runway, right? Am I wrong?
I mean, it could get sunk in the sand, so I don't know.
Yeah, but okay, you've been on a beach before. If you were going really fucking fast, you would basically, your feet would get sunk and fall face first into the fucking sand.
Yeah. Nosedive.
There you go. You got there. But basically that's what a plane would do, but a lot worse because it would probably blow up and shit, like in movies, because that's what they do. They blow up. No matter what. You look at it, it blows up.
So apparently the U.S. government did build a landing strip on the island.
Okay.
And...
well, if you're going to get there...
it was in the 1930s that they did that.
Well, so there
she
you go.
was planning on having a runway. Yeah. Yeah.
Huzzah. Look at me being all SMRT.
So one theory suggests that their plane crash landed not in the ocean, but on the remote and uninhabited Nukumaro.
That's 100% verified.
Located approximately 400 miles south of Howland Island.
That's quite significantly long distance.
Yes.
Because that's not even close. So,
because 3 years after their disappearance, an expedition to that island, they uncovered human remains.
But that doesn't mean it was theirs.
No.
Did her coat say Earhart on it? I mean, when they dug it up?
It was a skull that they found.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean...
so...
That's
a researcher from University of Tennessee analyzed these bones and concluded that, yes, they likely belong to Amelia Earhart.
They're making a name for themselves.
According to a 2018 study published in Forensic Anthropology, the bone characteristics exhibited a high degree of similarity to Earhart compared to 99% of individuals in the reference sample. We do not know what that sample is.
So
therefore,
it's inconclusive. Basically.
Yeah. So none of Fred's remains were found. However, a sexton box resembling the one that he carried was discovered among the debris on this Nicaragua
island.
Yes.
Call it remote island.
Yes.
South of Holland. 400 miles.
So another theory, some people think that President Roosevelt actually sent them on a mission to spy on Japan.
Oh, good Lord.
Seems pretty far-fetched, but
it does.
If they were a spy, they took a really strange route to get to Japan. Am I right?
Yeah, because their first route would have made way more sense because they were going west, which is where Japan was from California.
And if it was a secret mission, they had a lot of media following them.
Maybe they were just trying to throw them off. Let's go east. You'll never guess that. That's funny.
Not exactly top secret.
Not so much.
So, yet another theory says that they didn't disappear. They claim that they crash landed somewhere in the Marshall Islands and the Japanese military captured them.
I have actually heard that theory and seen photos that they lead to believe it's Earhart, but then where's Noonan?
Yeah.
Because he was not. And so, again, I didn't do extensive research in this little thing I read.
Yeah.
No mention of anybody else.
Yeah.
So, I feel that's
because they didn't even know he existed.
Apparently, he didn't check in at the flight when they left, or whatever. I mean, how have we not ever heard of this guy before? Know. Like, at least for me, I'm sure someone has,
for sure,
beyond us. But like, I had never heard of this guy before.
Yeah,
I had they always made it seem like Earhart did it on her own. Mm-hmm. That's kind of horseshit.
It was always first solo flight. That's all. I feel like that's how it's always been.
Yeah,
said first woman solo flight. Yeah.
No, I find that really fucking weird because clearly she was not alone.
No.
So why?
She was supposed to be solo.
But
then she
wasn't.
recruited him to do the hardest part going west from Hawaii to Howland.
Right.
But then she's like, no, I think I'll keep. And then, then at one point, Fred wrote Mary and said she actually wants to keep me on until Australia.
Right.
Which would have been 2 stops after Howland.
Correct.
Because they were going to stop in New Guinea.
New Guinea.
Is that right? Okay.
That's what you said.
I didn't know if that was a rock star rapper or whatever, but.
As opposed to Mama New Guinea.
I guess there's Papa Roach. Anyway.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So after they decided, okay, we'll go east instead, she's like, come with me the whole way.
Let's do this.
Yeah. So she was supposed to be by herself. Anyway.
That's just wild, though. I find that strange, but yeah.
Supposedly, the Japanese captured them and they died while being prisoner on the island of Saipan. In 2015, a team led by a former FBI guy named Sean Henry found an old photo in the National Archives.
That's probably what I saw then, yeah.
And it was taken by the Office of Naval Intelligence, which shows a ship towing a barge with a plane on it.
Yep.
And there's people on a nearby dock. And Sean Henry thinks that it was the Electra plane and that 2 of those people on the dock were Amelia and Fred.
Sure.
So, also, the idea of Earhart being taken by the Japanese isn't new. People have been talking about this since the 1960s.
Right.
And some Marshall Islanders even claim to have seen her plane land on the Marshall Islands and being taken by the Japanese. Like, the quote-unquote witnesses, which are never reliable.
No, because people make shit up.
Yes. So. However, to add to this, 2 guys named Les Kenny and Dick Spink.
Dick Spink?
Spink, S-P-I-N-K, Dick Spink.
No, I got it. That's a fantastic fucking name.
Sure is. They found some metal pieces in the Marshalls, and they think it came from Earhart's plane. Okay.
I mean, you can think whatever you want. Like, I could go walk outside your house and be like, oh my God, she flew over here because I found a screw. It's like...
Yeah.
Oh, show me fucking proof. Don't just tell me you think it's from her fucking plane. Anyways, sorry.
So, January 2024, last year.
That's hard to believe.
Last year. Sonar images were released.
Yeah.
That showed a strange object on the sea floor.
What?
It was about 100 miles from Howland Island.
Okay.
Okay, so super close.
So that kind of tracks.
Yeah, exactly. The discovery looked like a shape-planed object on the ocean floor, and it reignited like this huge global interest in the disappearance.
I think I faintly recall some of this.
So people were wondering, could this be the
Lockheed Electra, blah, blah, blah.
10E plane? Yes. Deep Sea Vision, the South Carolina-based company that originally found the object on the seafloor, returned to the site just November 1st.
So just a couple months ago.
Yes.
Okay.
So after further investigation, they determined that the object was actually just a natural rock formation.
Yep, I remember.
My gosh.
I remember hearing about this.
What a buzzkill.
I know. It's like they didn't have any BeatBox.
Also, I have these images too, so I'll post them on social media. Yeah. So Tony Romero, who was the CEO of the Deep Sea Vision company, he was a former Air Force intelligence officer and pilot himself. He described the rock formation as, quote, the cruelest formation ever created by nature, end quote.
That's awesome.
Yeah. He also said it's almost as if someone deliberately arranged those rocks to mimic the shape of a plane just to tease those searching for her.
Right.
So, Romeo expressed surprise that the object wasn't even a different plane or some other man-made structure because it looked so much like a plane. Yeah.
Right.
So he told CNN, quote, we didn't celebrate prematurely because we wanted to be absolutely certain, but there was definitely a moment of disappointment.
Well, yeah.
We took a moment to reflect, and then we got right back to work exploring new search areas.
That's funny.
But can you imagine seeing that formation in January and then 11 months later going back and be like, psych.
No, I know. That sucks because they got their hopes up so much. Like, holy shit, we might have found something. And like the location was
right on
within reason of them running out of gas or issue or whatever it was where they crashed. So it's like, holy fuck, did we find this? And it's just funny because, almost 90 years later, right? 37 is when they went missing.
Yes.
So we're almost to 90 years and they're still just, let's put a lot of fucking priority into finding apparently just one person's plane, not the other person on there.
Yeah.
But it's crazy that they have that much like, let's keep looking because what is that going to bring to the world if they find it?
They're going to investigate the actual plane and see if they can determine.
But okay, so if the plane's been in the ocean, which likely that's where it is, what has the salt water done to that plane?
I don't know.
Look what it's doing to the Titanic.
I don't know science really.
So. That was a much, that's accurate.
Or chemistry.
Or life.
I mean, chemistry is science, but okay. It's all encompassing.
All your math skills.
Terrible.
I know.
So are my reading skills. I am a true buffoon.
And I am history because I'm old? Is that how we got our name?
Historic. Okay, let me continue.
All right, anyways.
So Deep Sea Vision, that company, announced they actually have an Instagram page.
Oh.
So
progressive.
So you can actually track their progress or whatever.
Oh, really? You can follow along basically?
Yeah.
Okay.
So after discovering the rock formation, they explored over 1,000 square miles of the ocean, bringing their total search area to 7,700 square miles.
Wow, that's a lot
So
of space.
while this wasn't the outcome they were wanting,
Yep.
the experts emphasize that this search, they're going to continue. Yeah. They're not going to stop. So there's still hope that one day they will figure out what happened to Fred Noonan and his pilot, Amelia Earhart.
So how do you get funding for that? I mean, give me funding. I'll go fucking look. I have no idea what I'm looking for, but I'll fucking do that.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe
Jesus
they're independently wealthy. Who knows?
There's got to be some grants or
100%.
whatever along those lines that pay the bills for them to fucking look for a plane that's almost 90 years gone. Mm-hmm. I mean, I want to call somebody tomorrow and be like, hey, man, I'll do it. Give me some money.
Did you like my sneak Amelia Earhart attack?
Yeah, crazy women pilots crashing fucking shit up.
I actually said she twice. And I'm like, they.
And it's funny. I did not catch it. I did not clearly pick up on that.
I managed.
Okay. Time.
I know. So I heard you have an idiom for me.
You heard wrong.
Oh.
Kidding.
Oh.
All right. So
I'm going to drink my 11.1% alcohol by volume fruit punch by BeatBox.
oh my God. Please don't.
Don't beatbox.
Don't beatbox.
Okay.
Oh my word.
Let's move on.
Woosah. All right. So the idiom I have for you today is spill the beans.
Okay.
You've heard of that before.
I have. I've used it.
Yes.
Let the cat out of the bag.
No, we're doing spill the beans. What the fuck? Why are you fucking shit up right now? Drink your drink, woman. All right. So spill the beans is an idiom that means to reveal private or secret information. Mm-hmm. For example, you might spill the beans about a surprise party. I'm not going to read these examples because they're kind of dumb.
I thought I was going to spill the beans by saying she, referring to the pilot, versus they.
Way to bring it back.
You're welcome.
You're good at some things.
I'm listening.
I'm listening. I'm SMRT. The idiom is often used in casual conversation and is not appropriate in formal contexts. So basically, you're not going to be like in a corporate board meeting being like, spill the beans, Tina. It's like, what? I don't know. Anyways, so the phrase originated in the United States in the early 20th century. Well, so when is that? 1900s. Anyway, good. I'm going to put some
cricket noises.
Cricket noises.
I always have to like double check because it's off.
By
like,
one.
20th century is the 19th century. 21st century.
20th century
is the 1900s.
There it is.
The 21st century is the 2000s. Like, I have to like think about it. And
no, remember, that's why I asked you because I fucked that up a couple times.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
1900s.
So, historians believe the idiom may have come from an ancient Greek voting method where beans were used to cast votes. Have you ever heard that before?
Yeah.
So basically, they would have two different colored beans and two jars, and usually they weren't clear. They were jars, so you couldn't see.
So I'm thinking like black beans and like lima beans, white beans,
red kidney beans.
Red kidney beans.
Making some chili.
Yeah.
I gotta make my chili again.
Let's do some white navy beans and black beans. That's what they used. Go.
Have you ever had chickpeas, which are also garbanzo beans?
Yes, but not in a traditional setting. Someone made a dip with it or something. I don't know.
So in the band I used to be in, we always wanted to name an album Chickpeas in Public Places.
Your album?
Yeah, it would be Chickpeas in Public Places.
Uh-huh.
So when I used to visit Sarah at the grocery store that she worked at, I'd go grab a can of chickpeas and put it in a random place. Anyways.
Why?
Because chickpeas in random places. Anyways, so where was I?
Two different kinds of beans for voting in ancient Greece.
So basically you would have like, I don't know if they were colored or they were just literally just the color of the
different
bean.
beans.
They'd separate them, and you would like be voting for an office. You would put whatever bean you want into a specific jar, and then they would spill the beans to count them out. Basically, is what they're saying. So that's how they would determine the outcome of the election. But they also say too, which I've heard this, and I don't like this because I always go off of spill the beans because that's the one I knew prior to this. But a related idiom is spill the tea. Yeah. Which a lot of people say these days.
These days, yeah.
It's like way over fucking used these days, to be honest. Mm-hmm. But it also means to reveal secret information. But spill the tea is more closely associated with gossip, where spill the beans is basically when someone unintentionally gives something up.
Okay,
basically.
Sure. So intentional versus unintentional.
If I was going to come to you and be like, well, spill the tea on XYZ. Yeah. That means you would give up the information. Right. Where if I said, hey, Kate, did you hear about this? I'd be spilling the beans because I unintentionally told you something I probably shouldn't have, or whatever. Yeah. Or I said something and you overheard it, kind of thing. Right. And it's like, oh, Brad just spilled the beans. Yeah. So, so spill the beans. You basically give up secret information or personal information.
I like it. I didn't know it was used for voting.
Yeah, that's cool. That's where they think it came from. Yeah. Because literally back in the day in ancient Greece, they had beans. So they're like, well, pick which color and put it in the proper vessel. Yeah. And then they would spill the beans out and count and see who won. So
cool.
They were used out for elections. I believe they just stopped using that.
Do you think they had Beano around back then?
Beans, the magical. I've said this once already on the podcast. I'll stop.
Okay. So what did you think about your pink lemonade beatbox?
I don't know if it's the alcohol talking, but it got better as it went on.
Are you finished with it?
I'm empty. I have none to share. I apologize. So you finish yours.
We'll see about that.
Oh, dear.
I think I maybe have gone through a single serving out of the
3.8.
3.8.
So specific. But
I liked it. I really liked my flavor, actually.
I'm curious. I'll take a sip because I'm curious to try the flavor of yours. I felt like it wasn't very. I like pink lemonade.
Yeah. Which is why I gave that one to you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you that I like it. I really don't. But anyways, I'm kidding. Jesus Christ. No, I like pink lemonade. But initially it didn't taste like it at all.
Yeah.
Again, it's probably the alcohol talking. Got better as it went on. I ended up finishing it. So sorry you don't get to try it. But you don't also really care for pink lemonade, right? So
it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, I would much rather choose other drinks over lemonade, even pink lemonade.
I would much rather just have regular lemonade.
Yeah,
but
that too.
Either way.
Yeah.
Vesper really likes lemonade.
Yeah.
Every time we go visit Grandma, she's always like, lemonade? Okay, Vesper. But she knows Grandma always has it because I always drink it when I go there. So
yeah,
it's kind of funny. But no, it was decent. I don't think I would go out of my way to buy this.
Yeah.
And on regular basis, but if it was available, I wouldn't say no to it.
Yeah.
I'm curious at what other flavors they have.
Yeah, they had a blue raspberry and a green apple, I think.
Is that what that was?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think there might be one or two others.
Oh, I think there's actually a lot. There, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they also have like zero sugar ones or something like, it might not be zero sugar, but along those lines kind of thing.
BeatBox diet?
BeatBox diet, yo. Yeah, get drunk and lose calories.
I know what it is.
What?
It's whisper beatbox.
Welp.
I suppose.
All right, buffoons. That's it for today's episode.
Buckle up because we've got another historical adventure waiting for you next time. Feeling hungry for more buffoonery? Or maybe you have a burning question or a wild historical theory for us to explore?
Hit us up on social media. We're History Buffoons Podcast on YouTube, X, Instagram, and Facebook. You can also email us at historybuffoonspodcast@gmail.com. We are Bradley and Kate. Music by Corey Akers.
Follow us wherever you get your podcasts and turn those notifications on to stay in the loop.
Until next time, stay curious and don't forget to rate and review us.
Remember, the buffoonery never stops.